Hello everyone, it's me again, Joseph, back at again with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. I am currently in the closed beta test that is going for Territory Wars at the moment, so I have been preparing a kind of a long kind of overview video on that, which is why I didn't end up doing the tutorial on how to get in, because by the time I started it was already closed, which was quicker than I expected. I thought it would at least allow quite a few people in before it closed, but like I said, I'm going to use the beta as well to do some proper videos, play around with what I've got in there. But right now, I just thought it'd be an interesting idea to look at the characters that I have a Zeta on, and kind of review why I Zetaed them, what use I got out of them, and if they are still worth the Zeta today. And overall, we can probably get some idea, give you guys at home, you know, some general feedback if these characters are worth your time and investment. So let's head into my characters real quick. And now, obviously, you know, when you give someone a Zeta, they often jump up right to the top, which is why I think nearly all the characters on this top row have a Zeta, but it mixes everyone but Thrawn and up to Cody. From CLS to Cody, they all have a Zeta on them, and they've all got different sorts of Zetas, and they do different purposes. So let's, I'm going to do it in order that I did it, and I remember my first Zeta was in fact Darth Vader. So let's just get him up. So Darth Vader has a leader ability, Inspiring Through Fear, and his Zeta allows you to reduce 30% turn meter, sorry, 20% turn meter. I think it was, what was it? It was 50% chance to remove 20% turn meter, and his damage over time effects would refresh immediately after they had expired, so you could stack loads of damage over time on a character while also reducing turn meter. Now, the reason I Zetaed him at the time was because of the Rancor raid. There was a glitch on his leader ability for a long time, which would reduce a lot more turn meter than it said it would. It would reduce like 50% turn meter or something crazy. So what people would do is they just go into the Rancor raid, put Darth Vader and some Empire characters in there, and then a few Siths, and then just press auto, and the amount of turn meter reduction would be insane. And you wouldn't even need to do anything, you could just leave it on auto for half an hour. Now obviously there are more effective ways of beating the Rancor, but back then this was the way to do it. Now unfortunately I only had it for about a month before that was fixed eventually. The bug was open for like what felt like a year, and they didn't fix it, and all of a sudden I got the Zeta and they fixed it. So unfortunately this is a not recommend. I would not have any purpose with Darth Vader now. In fact, the only time I in fact use him at all is for any sort of Omega or assault battles. I don't even use him as a leader, which is kind of a shame, because you know, he's pretty much the most popular Zeta still, because everyone used to have him. He was good for so long, but unfortunately not anymore. So that's Darth Vader, and he's got a big small not recommended just above his head. Now, the next Zeta that I got was in fact Commander Cody, because I was moving on to the next squad of, you know, sort of characters that I wanted to prepare a raid team for. So let's wait for this to load again for some reason. Okay, so Commander Cody was my second Zeta, and his leader ability essentially gave clones and other allies like critical chance, extra defense, and clones would recover protection whenever they used a basic ability. It's not too crazy of a Zeta ability, I know, because it doesn't really do much effects beside the protection. But as for the heroic phase 4, this is really solid at keeping everyone alive, giving them that extra protection. And clones are still very much used today. I have used them a lot in the normal tank raid. I haven't managed to get a full use of them out the heroic yet. When we have experimented in the past, I've managed to get quite a decent amount of damage on the second phase, which is as far as we could get as a guild, but I found a lot of use out of him, and I still love the clones. They're still one of my favourite factions in the game, and I would personally recommend him, but maybe not as like your first choice of a Zeta, maybe down the line when you've built up a few squads and you've got these other ones that are more important. So I would class Zodi as a save for later Zeta. So don't do it immediately, save him for later, build up the clones, get a few more necessary and immediately required Zetas first. Okay, so the next one I did was Kylo Ren. Now, Kylo Ren has a more of like an attack-based Zeta on his outrage, which would give him 15% more damage, and it would allow him to recover protection equal to damage he is dealt. Now, this is one I love actually a lot. Kylo Ren is one of my favorite characters from The Force Awakens and probably Star Wars in general. He's just a really cool guy, and I like how he's written as a character, even though people just kind of see him as a whiny brat. But, you know, I don't blame you. So I did this because the heroic phase 1 can be soloed using his ability. It gives him a crap ton of protection, allows him to stay alive through the whole thing. You would just back out, go back in, and he would be able to just do it all by himself. And also because I needed more damage in my arena, and he certainly does that. I mean, I have gotten every piece of use out of him that I've needed. Every time we've done a heroic tank, I've been able to solo that first phase. Even though they did technically fix the amount of times he could escape perfectly, it's still possible to solo. You just need a bit of luck and using aeroplane mode. To be fair, you don't even need luck, you just need patience, because it's eventually going to happen. It just takes longer now. And he's still part of my arena team. You know, I've got him gate 12. He's just doing amazing. I would recommend him for, you know, arena purposes and heroic tank purposes. If you're building an arena team, Kylo Ren is a great damage dealer if you allow you to climb higher ranks, and I'm happy with him. Every guild could use a Kylo Ren. So next one I did was R2-D2, I remember now. So R2-D2 has 2 Zetas, but the one I ultimately went for was Number Crunch. Now, it kind of sounds like a mouthful, but essentially, Number Crunch normally R2-D2 gains like certain stats for the amount of certain characters in a faction that he has allied. So his Number Crunch allows him to essentially give out those stats back to his allies. So he can give droids, Republic, Rebel, and Resistance allies 10% of his health, protection, offense, and potency until he's defeated, which is really, it's kind of a game changer in a small sense. Like, it's really good in the arena. It's guaranteed to give your team a stat boost over the other team. So if you have identical characters that just have like, they have like a Darth Nihilus instead of an R2-D2, then you know that your characters are statistically going to be, you know, have more protection, more damage, more health than their characters. So he's still really good. R2-D2, I've said multiple times, isn't my favorite legendary character because it doesn't do much that is unique compared to the other ones. But I still really like him as a useful character, and I think everyone should have an R2-D2 Zeta because he's someone that should be generally in your arena team. If you go into the meta, like the top 100, a lot of the teams, if not all of them, will have an R2-D2 somewhere because of his smokescreen, his stun, his improvise, and also because of his Number Crunch. So this is a recommend. You know, if you have some rebels, if you have some Galactic Republic allies, then R2-D2 will fit nicely in that squad, and he'll allow you to climb the arena ranks. So yeah, 25 Zetas out of 20 possible Zetas. And then the next character I did was kind of out of a controlled buying period. I didn't know what to spend it on. Was Commander Luke Skywalker. This is a character that everyone knows is pretty damn insane. You don't need to go far to know that. And his Zeta is It Binds All Things. So this is an interesting one because it's not really attack based, but it does benefit from attacks. So Luke resists a negative effect. He recovers 5% protection, and whenever Luke inflicts a debuff, he gains 10% turn meter, and other allies gain half that amount. So if you don't know, Luke on his basic, I believe he can inflict speed down and defense down for 2 turns. So it means whenever you attack with that basic attack, you're going to get 20% turn meter, and you're going to give your allies 10% because you're giving them half. So every time you use your basic, you're going to immediately get 20% turn meter, immediately get like more attacks out. And while it doesn't sound too crazy compared to like recovering protection equal to your attack, it still benefits in the long run. This allows you to actually solo the entire Rancor raid just with Commander Luke. You get him some really high speed, and you hit him with both of your attacks, which both do debuffs. I believe this one does buff immunity and tenacity down. Yeah, just those two. So both your tanks can give you 20% turn meter immediately as when you got high potency. But also, because it binds all things, also grants you 40% potency, it means you're going to be doing more debuffs as well. So this is a recommend, because Commander Luke Skywalker is a crazy character, and his Zeta just reinforces how crazy he can be. And I really like him, and I really like this Zeta. I get a lot of use out of it, so that's very good. Now the most recent Zeta I did, which was 2 weeks ago, was Finn. Now I took forever to get onto the resistance train, and even though he's gear 10, I still get a lot of use out of this. So essentially, his Zeta allows it, so whenever a resistance ally loses foresight, they gain advantage, but that's not the cool one. The cool one is, whenever an enemy takes damage from expose, reduce the cooldowns of all allies by 1, or resistance allies, and then grant them 35% turn meter. So if you think about how many resistant characters can actually inflict expose, which is, in my team, I think all of them can do it in some way, then you're going to be getting so much turn meter, you're going to be able to use your abilities immediately off cooldown. If you've got Poe, then anyone out that has resistance knows how much you can just put up a taunt, and his taunt like inflicts the expose on everyone, just allowing you to keep going. Like, this Zeta is insane. I did this mainly for the heroic tank and Galactic War, and I haven't lost the Galactic War since. I've been able to get through all of the nodes. I've been able to do about like 11 million damage or something on a normal tank. It's one of my favorite Zetas. I'm really shocked that I didn't do this earlier, but this is like one of the best leader abilities you can get in the game at Zeta, and this is a definite recommend. If you have some Zetas saved at the moment, I would consider doing Finn immediately and getting up the resistance as much as you can in terms of gear, maybe to like gear 11 at least, because this is a crazy one. This will change the game for you. It makes it a lot more fun, and it's very impactful when it comes to the raids as well. So those were the Zetas I already have. In terms of for the future, I was recommended by Warrior Presents on my roster review. He recommended that I do Han Solo because he's also a very high damage dealer, sort of a game changer in that sense, and it's not going to load. There he is, which allows him essentially to get off like an extra attack every time he shoots his basic, which is pretty crazy. And I was also considering Grand Admiral Thrawn on his ebb and flow. This would allow me to potentially solo phase 3 of the heroic tank. So it's just considering, I'm just trying to balance what I want more right now, if I want to improve my arena performance with Han, or potentially help the guild with Grand Admiral Thrawn. So those are the two I'm considering at the moment. There isn't anyone else that's really sticking out to me at the moment. There is quite a lot of Zetas in the game, but everyone has a different purpose for any of them. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed looking through my Zetas with me. I'll have the the Territory War video up soon. As soon as it ends tonight, I'll have to put all the footage together and kind of walk through it all. I've been working with a different guild in the beta, and I'll be talking to them, getting some feedback on what they thought of the war, let you guys at home know what to expect when the mode eventually ships. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye!